Hello, world. Welcome back to a very special Golf Subpar. I'm Colt Knost. He's the sleazy man, Drew Stoltz. We got the champ coming up here very shortly. Jon Rahm, picking up his second major title at this year's Masters, will be joining us. Can't wait to get to that. But first, we got to talk a little bit about the RBC Heritage out at Harbortown Golf Links, where Matt Fitzpatrick took down Jordan Spieth in a playoff. Once again, sleaze, the designated events deliver.
They delivering. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They had a whole cut. They had all the people there, virtually all the big boys except for Rory. They were all there. What happened on Sunday? Phenomenal leaderboard, shootout between two of the best. You get a playoff. I think these things are delivering so well right now. If I'm on the PGA Tour, I'm like, why would we change this? Go back and look at all of them. They've been perfect. In my opinion. And this was the one right after a major championship. So if there's any letdown in any of them, you would think like, oh, this will be the one. The main guys, the big guys, they'll be tired from the week. It's a long week out there with the weather. Maybe we don't see as many of them in the top of the leaderboard. There you go. They were still there, most of them.
Well, Jordan talks about being exhausted with how much golf he had played and everything, but obviously he rallied because that's what professionals do. But this once again proves my point of not getting rid of the cut and going to small fields, because heading into the weekend, here we have journeyman Jimmy Walker, who is a major champion, so I don't like calling him an underdog, but he was an underdog.
Yeah, it's been a while.
He had a 3-shot lead going into the weekend. The only reason he was in the field is because he took his career money exemption, where he would happen to be entering the year number 50, and that is because he moved up 9 spots because they took the live guys that went over off the list. So that's the only reason he was still actually playing. He talked about hanging it up, decided to give it one more go. Here he is. He's got the 36-hole lead. Great story. In the final group with Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, and that's twice now we go back to Nick Taylor at Phoenix Open. There's another one. It's like you just eliminate the possibility for all. And look, you still got Spieth and Fitzpatrick in a playoff home run, right? For everybody.
Was in the
but you got
group.
some kind of exactly. But you got some kind of Cinderella stories in there, if you want to call them that. And it's just like that makes it good. That makes it great. There are guys that are outside that number that could go win one of these things, and it's going to happen. But it's like if you eliminate that and make it 70, whatever, between 70 and 80 and no cut, you're going to stop getting these guys. And I just, with the success of how these things have gone up to this point, I would say these things have been awesome. I don't know why you'd want to change it whatsoever.
Yeah, I was there on site, and you could tell there was definitely a Masters hangover. It was quiet early in the week. The players were tired. Thursday was a little quiet. Friday it got a little busier, a little louder. Saturday, you had those monster guys up there. Jimmy Walker leading the way. The weather was perfect. The crowds were unbelievable. The buzz was back. And then going into Sunday, it was rowdy, man.
It looked fun.
It
looked
was
like a fun
rowdy.
hang out there. There were some dudes getting after it, getting amongst it. They went out threesomes on Sunday. Pace of play, not great. Once again, we're getting into that whole deal. Something's got to change. I don't know what it is. I feel like we have this conversation over and over. It's a broken record. Throw some shots at some dudes, and things are going to change. But what was it, 5:15 for the final group before the playoff? Then they had to go play 3 playoff holes. Like, they're out there 6+ hours. It's too much. It's too much golf. Tighten it up.
There was some people trolling Patrick Cantlay. One guy timed one of his shots. I believe it was on number 11. It was almost 3 minutes long. There was a 4-footer where he took a minute to hit. Things have got to change. Maybe our man Jon Rahm could have some solutions to this pace of play problem, because he definitely doesn't have a problem. He moves. So does Matt Fitzpatrick, though.
He goes. They all go. Let's say this for sure, because Patrick Cantlay is the one. He's the scapegoat right now. He's the one getting all the heat. He ain't the only slow dude on the PGA Tour. He's slow. He needs to pick it up. He ain't the only one. He's just playing the best golf of the guys that are very deliberate out there right now. I saw it at Augusta, second to last group. Saw it this week, last group. So he's taken all of the brunt of it. But you fast forward an hour, go up an hour in the tee times, there's some dudes playing slow there too. They just don't have the camera on them the whole time. It's not one dude slowing up the entire PGA Tour. So the Cantlay hate, he's kind of become the villain behind this. I don't think that's necessarily fair. I do think he needs to pick it up, but there's a lot of dudes that should be feeling the same wrath as him. They're just not playing as good a golf.
And until they do something, Patrick Cantlay don't give a shit. He's going to keep playing
Why would you?
Printing money.
Yeah. Why would you?
But, man, congrats to Matt Fitzpatrick. This is a guy who's totally changed his game, has picked up so much speed. He went from one of the shortest hitters to now one of the longest hitters. You know, I always said he's a guy that'll wear you down over time. Bay Hill, when the golf course is extremely hard. Memorial, when it's really, really hard. Over 4 days, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's going to be there. But in those team events, Ryder Cups, he's going up against Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, name it, the long guys on the USA team. Like, he gets bullied.
You know, yeah.
It's tough to beat them in an 18-hole sprint. But with this newfound length, winning the U.S. Open, his confidence is sky high. he's going to be a problem in a lot of these big tournaments coming up and the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the top dogs on the European side, and it's changed from the last time we saw him at Whistling Straits. I think that was kind of the catalyst for his whole, that was a big yard. He's like, I got to get longer. I can't go play these guys 18 holes. Yeah, you give me 72 and let me wear them down, got a chance, but he's done it. He put in the work, and it's worked. And by the way, tip of the cap to Jordan Spieth. Looked like he could have won that thing twice, but he's starting to play some really nice golf.
He's back.
What is it? His last 5 events, he's finished outside of the top 4 one time, and that was the 19th in stroke play. Yeah, not counting the match play. He's just hanging around that rim right now. It's just a matter of time. He's going to be super popular up at Oak Hill for the PGA, but fun to watch him do it, and just fun dude to watch golf. Just wild shit all over the place.
Speaking of wild shit, I got to give a little shout out to my man Frank Nobilo. Okay, him and I, we have a fun relationship. We like to pick on each other on air, spice up the broadcast a little bit. He taught me early on, kind of the rule is, you can only make fun of the other person if they're on the same hole and they can respond.
That's fair, by the way. Okay? You got to have a chance to rebut.
Fair. You do it when they're in the dark, it's really not that fair. Well, since then, we've kind of changed it where if, Frank wants to chime in on somebody else's hole, he's allowed to. So therefore, it's open season, right? You can just take shots whenever. But he crossed the line this week, okay? I started it off. I was out there. I was a little bored. My group wasn't doing much, so I didn't get to talk too much. But Scotty Scheffler had a nasty lip out for birdie. And I said, Trevor, over the last 2 weeks, Scotty Scheffler's burned more edges than Frank has bridges.
Sing!
Got a little laugh
shot
at him
in there.
And he went to commercial and goes, all right, it's on. So here comes Frank, not saying much. I'm not speaking very much during the broadcast because, like I said, my groups were just they were stuck in neutral. Well, whoever's talking when they get ready to go to commercial sends it to commercial. So it's Frank's all he's talking. I hear sellers say commercial. They show this beautiful drone shot of the harbor. All these massive boats, everything going on. He's like, beautiful harbor town. Boats galore. And Colt's dinghy. And that's just how it went to break. And
Let it breathe. Let it breathe.
And I said, we go in commercial and we can speak to each other during commercial. I go, yo, that was so far across the line and out of bounds. That is not fair. And he was chuckling. He was so proud of himself.
1-1.
1-1. So we will settle this, Frank. Get ready.
Anytime you can work in a dinghy reference, I feel like, especially with a name in front of it. Colt's dinghy. It's good broadcasting.
Yeah, it's good.
Good broadcasting.
But, man, it was a great week out at Harbor Town. But I'm so excited for this interview. We got to get to it.
But before that, we got something exciting for all the listeners. Colt, we love golf trips. Suffice it to say, we're big golf trip guys. Concur?
There's nothing better.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're thinking about a buddy's trip, couple's trip, any kind of golf getaway, make sure you talk to our guys at GolfTrip.com. That's GolfTroop.com. They book packages all over the U.S., get you the best deal for your money, advanced tee times. Basically, they just dial you in with whatever you want. They handle all the payments, so you don't have to go chase down your buddies for the money. Golf Troop has the inside scoop on the best courses, hidden gems, lodging, everything you want on a golf vacation. And if that's not enough, listen to this. They do a golf giveaway for a sick trip for 4 golfers every quarter. These trips are awesome. They take places in spots like Innisbrook, True North here in Scottsdale, Vegas, California, Pebble Beach. These are some incredible golf giveaways. All you got to do is visit golftroop.com/subpar to sign up for their next trip giveaway. You don't got to buy anything. All you got to do is sign up for the giveaway. That is golftroop.com/subpar. Check them out, sign up, and you could be headed to an amazing golf destination for free. Colt, only thing better than golf trips, free golf trips, especially to Pebble. That one's worth a pretty penny.
I like that. You know what else I like? Masters champs. Mm-hmm. Here he is, Jon Rahm on Golf Subpar.
All right, what a show we have here today. We got our first ever guest on Golf Subpar coming back for his 4th time, this time with a new addition to the wardrobe. Your 2023 Masters champion, Jon Rahm. Big fella, good to have you back, brother.
Oh, congratulations.
Great to be back.
What Thank a piece that is,
Thank
too.
you.
Looks good. You got the matching J's.
How crazy is it? We're talking about how you haven't been on in a little bit, and it's about time. We were just challenging you a little bit. We were just making you go out and actually do something to earn coming back on Subpar.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be – last time I came was the U.S. Open. It wouldn't be right if I don't do it after something big again. Having 3 wins in the season could have been big enough, but I'm glad this worked out this way.
For most people, we would have had him on after the 3rd, but for you, we're like, let's just wait. Let's just keep it going. Something huge is coming, and it did. But thank you for bringing the green jacket,
yes,
too.
Sir.
How hard is it to get that thing out? Like, it's got rules about its public appearances, yeah?
I don't know all the rules. There's a dress code that comes with it. You learn about this quickly when you have to sign documents and things about what you're doing.
It's official.
They obviously, we all know the rules around Augusta National, right? And they tell you you're representing Augusta National, right? The jacket is Augusta National, so least you can wear is golf attire. That's the worst dress code you can have. So no jeans, no shorts, which
you look nice.
You look great.
You look fantastic.
And
got the green rollie to match.
Exactly.
Yeah, this ain't bad.
I feel like I'm worthy of wearing this now. It's complicated. You can't have a public appearance, or the jacket can't make the jacket can't make a public appearance without them knowing. They don't like to be surprised, so they need to give approval for everything. They need to approve this. I can't be photographed with a jacket and having alcohol. It just goes on and on and on. So it's
wow. I feel flattered that this got the clearance, by the way.
Well, we push for it. There's some things you're more passionate about than others, right? So I'm glad we could do this.
Yeah, next week you and I might be members. You never know.
You never know. I'm expecting
this far.
I'm expecting it.
But seriously, I mean, first off, I think it's so cool that you teed it up last week at Harbor Town. I love what you said about honoring your commitment. Mm-hmm. You know, people pay their hard-earned money to come watch you play golf. You put yourself in kids' shoes and said, I want to see the Masters champ. You did it. I thought that was so cool of you. What was the reception like last week at Harbor Town?
It was incredible. And even before I did my press conference on Tuesday afternoon, because we flew in Tuesday, I went to the range just to hit a few and kind of get in the tournament mindset. And the crowd that was there, the reception was incredible. Like, I've never had an ovation for walking into a putting green. I pretty much had it. And it was really, really cool to see. And then after we're signing autographs, like, you see there's a different level of enthusiasm now in that sense, right? And then on the golf course, every single hole, every single day was, you know, because some of them were obviously seeing me for the first time since the win. Every single time was, no matter if I hit a good or bad shot, clapping and congratulating me for the win. And then the 18th hole that we saw, it was incredible. I've gotten ovations like that in Spain, some places in Europe, never in the U.S. So to be acknowledged like that by the U.S. crowd was very, very cool, and feeling the embrace. So I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I'm glad I went. I'm happy I played as good as I did, because I did not expect to play as good as I did. And to about the first round, I was a little tired. Otherwise, I would have liked to, not content, but if sneaking a top 10, that would have been absolutely incredible. But either way, I'm happy I went, and at least at the end just shoot 75 and go home and just call it a day.
No, it was a solid week. You played really well the last 3 rounds, but like you're sitting there at Hilton Head. You got the green jacket. Is it hung up in the closet? Is it sitting on the chair? Are you drinking coffee in it in the mornings?
So this is the second time I put it on since Sunday.
Wow.
At Augusta. The next morning I put it on. I don't know why. Like, I put it on as a joke. And
because you're the Masters
you
champion.
can, yeah, because you got a green jacket. That's why.
It was just the next morning, 9 a.m. I was making a joke with Kelly at one of the bathroom and came out with a jacket on, and she was laughing. And then it was when I spoken about this, I saw this Golf Digest picture of they photoshopped me and Seve shaking hands on 18, and I was sitting on the edge of the bed and started bawling instantly, like, because I had it on and it kind of hit me right in the moment. For the next 30 minutes, it was just a blubbery mess. It was funny to think about. Then I took it off, and I haven't put it on since till now. Was
that the moment where, because it's such a whirlwind, I would imagine, for you after? It's like Butler Cabin, on the greens, all the stuff. Then you boom, straight to Harbor Town, interviews, all that. Was that the moment where it like hit you, like, oh my God, like, this is special?
Yeah, that Monday hit me. And most people don't know what goes afterwards. Like, you finish, I don't know if we finished at 7:30 or something like that. I didn't leave Augusta National till midnight. Mm-hmm. Right, and I was an early one to leave. Apparently, you can stay longer if you need to, or if you have to. So, you have it on, but it's like, I don't know, you forget because there's so many commitments. It was just the next day putting it back on where it was kind of unique, right? It was like, okay, I don't have to in this sense, but got to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, that Champions locker room is a very small, private place. Who are you going to be sharing a locker with?
I don't know.
Oh,
so they said as a joke, it might be a new tradition. I said. My dad was there, Kelly was there, and I'm like, this might be the only chance I get to see it. I'm going to push for it. Like, can we go see the Champions locker room? They said yes. I'm like, okay. We went up there, saw the locker room, and obviously I'm looking around. Ollie and Sergio share a locker. Seve shares with Schwartzel, right? I was like, listen, I can't tell you guys what to do. Can you please put me with the Spanish guys?
Yeah.
Like, there's 4 of us, obviously, perfectly put us in there. It'll be amazing. I don't care if you put me with Ollie, Sergio, Seve, but I feel like it's right? No offense, Charles, no offense.
But beat it.
But like, I thought it would be really cool if it could put me with Seve, especially with everything I've spoken, right? I don't know how long they maintain the locker after somebody's passed. I don't know if they maintain all of them. I don't know. But it would be really cool to share with the Spanish guys. So I'm hoping. But I don't know how much my word means over there. I'll take whoever I get, obviously.
More than most, I would say. More than people that don't have a green jacket. Yeah, Charles can go with Gary Player or something. That would be sweet. Tell me, all right, you win, your phone's exploding. Give me one guy that you heard from that was like surprising, flattering, any of the above.
There's a lot of texts. I think the most meaningful one, because I hadn't gotten a message from him like that yet, it was basically a voice message from Rafa Nadal.
Sick.
He's a massive golf fan, and he sent me a 2-minute voice message. That was really cool. So only voice memo.
Do you guys talk like that? Like, do you reach out to him when he wins a Grand Slam?
Yeah, and he'll respond, but in between, not too much. But we know each other is watching, and this one was really cool.
Well, on our group text, Sleaze reached out in Spanish. How impressed were you with this Spanish?
The Google Translate copy paste.
I didn't even look up what you said.
I tried it first without. I was like, this
notes.
This ain't working. I'm gonna need a little help.
We all knew. I either said somebody in his family speaks Spanish, and I don't think you're gonna take the time to do something like that. So just Google Translate.
I tried. It was.
You were the only one, though. I'm surprised nobody else did it
in Spanish. Yeah, I'm always trying to hobla with you a little bit. You know
Hobla.
Yeah, just a little something. I tried it. I was like,
if that didn't give you enough habla.
I habla un poquito.
I thought he was trying to speak English.
That's great.
It's impossible to type in Spanish because it auto-corrects it to English when you try to write where I was like, all right, I'm just going to go translate on this thing. This little nod to you.
Let's go into the start of the week because obviously you're playing great leading in. You had 3 wins on the season already, and you get to the first hole.
I can't help but laugh because I just...
The habla?
The habla.
No, was coming.
But, I mean, you get to the first hole, the Masters, you're one of the favorites. You go out there, you got a birdie putt on the first, and you 4-whack it. Walk away with double bogey. I mean, what was going through your head walking over to the second tee?
This is it's a complicated thing. It's a lot to explain, but I mean, it's such a hard opening hole.
Yes.
That pin location is not the hardest on the green, but a 5 happens way too easily, right? Too easily. And I hit a great 3-wood, really good 8-iron to a good spot, and I'm feeling great, right? Obviously, we all know there's a discrepancy between putting green and course, right? There's always a little bit of a difference. And Justin Thomas goes first, hits it 4 feet short. I'm like, okay, just trust your speed. Hit a great looking putt. Look, it's going by the hole, and after the hole hits the downslope, it goes to 6 feet. I'm like, well, let's try to make that. Hit another great feeling putt, misread it, and then I see that thing going off to 4 feet. Justin finishes, and I'm like, oh boy, that's where, I mean, not do you want to think about it, but it's like, it's just 4 or 5. You don't want to, right? Like, you don't want to get up there with the slope behind the hole again, just try to hammer it. And I'm like, I don't want to 6 feet back for a double. So I was like, I read it right edge. I am just outside the edge and tried to die it in, and then went dead straight. And well, I made 4 putt, made a double. Clearly not happy, but the first thing I told Adam, and he could tell you this, is every single putt felt good. All of them felt good. And I remember a quote from Jack after a round, I think it was at Augusta, where they said, man, you played a great round of golf, you just missed the putt on 15. And he said, I didn't miss it. I hit exactly the way I wanted to. I just misinterpreted. I'm like, it kind of popped into my head, along with Seve's quote of, I miss, I make. It happens to everybody. So after that, I'm still upset, obviously, because I made a 6 in a stupid way. But I hit the tee shot on 2, and I've said this many times, and I'll keep saying it. If you stand in the fairway, if you hit the fairway on 7 at Augusta National, and you're even par, you're in a good spot. You are in a good spot. Because even if you birdie 2 and 3, 1, 4, 5, 6 are very good chances of bogey. It can happen. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was thinking. Let's play good. I made great tee shot on 2, had 10 feet for eagle, made birdie on 3. I'm even par starting on the 4th tee. I mean, I was happy with it. I never thought about anything else, and I made birdie on 7. So, in my mind, in my pace of golf, I was doing good. Never did I think, though, after a double, I was going to end up with 7 birdies and an eagle and shoot 7 under.
Yeah, 65 with a double.
That 9 under stretch on the last 17. But this might be a big statement, but best golf you've ever played?
There was that time at Memorial.
That's why I'm saying it might be a bit, but also 917 at a major championship. That's a lot. Memorial came to mind.
17 holes.
Yeah, for one round.
Yes.
That's it.
I mean,
it looked like you hit exactly where you're looking.
I would say so because I'm going to add this. There's a narrative that I can't hit a draw. Okay,
we're going to get
talk about that.
I hit a draw on 10, perfect. I hit a draw on 13, perfect. And I hit the shots I need on some of the tough tee shots on that round as well, along with some other great iron shots and really good putts. Like, legit, after that first hole, it was about as easy as I feel like I can walk around Augusta National. So, yeah, I mean, that was really
the best
good.
Single round stretch. 17
really
hole.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can.
You can't.
What you're going to do to top that unless you shoot 59 somewhere.
No, I mean, hopefully part of the first hole and then do the same thing afterwards.
Yeah,
tie the course record.
That would work.
But, yeah, that was about as good as it gets.
Before we get back to Jon Rahm, I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Callaway. You've heard me talk about my equipment, and for a good number of you, that's not what you should have in your bag. I've seen the USGA stats on handicaps, and I've played in Pro-Ams, and I know that a majority of you need all the forgiveness you can handle. If your handicap has 2 digits, do yourself a favor and take a look at the newest Big Bertha clubs from Callaway, just announced this week. Easy to hit, easy to launch. You know when you're having a tough round and you're pure 1 on 18 and that one shot keeps you coming back? These clubs are going to help give you more of those shots. By the way, there's even a version for female golfers. Those are called Big Bertha Reva, short for Revolution. Take a look at the new Big Bertha lineup from Callaway at CallawayGolf.com/Big Bertha. That's CallawayGolf.com/Big Bertha. Back to Jon Rahm. You mentioned a lot of people question whether or not you can draw it. A lot of people also questioned when you switched equipment companies. It was a very interesting deal because here you are switching 14 clubs and a ball. Now you have 2 majors. Have you ever been more confident in what you got in your bag than you do right now?
I've always been confident in what I have in my bag. You also gotta. I don't want to talk negatively about anybody, and TaylorMade made a great product as well. But there's also a difference in the person, right? And I think that's the bigger difference. But I did change. I wouldn't just change blindly for monetary reasons, right? Like, I don't want my career to suffer. So when I changed and when I did all the testing, I wanted to make sure I could improve, and I saw the opportunity for improvement, and that's what I said. And I mean, right away, we saw it in 2021. I played to date the best year of my career, winning 1.5 tournaments.
Yeah.
And
1 3/4.
Yeah, I would say 1.99.
And shooting the low score at Tour Championship as well, right? So I played really good golf in an amazing Ryder Cup. So I felt validated right away. Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize. I mean, I don't look at the comments or anything. I didn't think anybody was questioning anything.
I think that you're just one of those guys that was winning a lot. You were rising the world rankings. Then, you know, we've seen equipment changes bite people in the past, but you went over to Callaway, and I would say, I mean, the amount of wins they have so far this year kind of validates their equipment. But I don't think I've ever seen you drive the golf ball better.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, no, it's been really good. What people don't know is I made the same change basically when I went to TaylorMade in college. Didn't hit one TaylorMade club in college up until like my last month and a half when TaylorMade came into the picture, and I tried some of their clubs, right? Before that, I actually have mostly a Callaway bag. Growing up, I played a lot of Callaway as well, so it's not like it was unfamiliar territory, right? It wasn't like I was going blind into something else. And that, along with a lot of work, a lot of hours put into it. And I put a lot of time in December trying to make sure this stuff was fitting when I went to Carlsbad and got my equipment checked. It's also very reassuring when I come back home with my brand new bag and brand new golf ball. On the first round I play, I shoot 59.
Helps.
So I was like, you know what? If I play bad from now on, maybe it's not me, or it's not the clubs, it's me, right? So that's kind of, it was a very positive start in that sense.
No doubt about it. I want to go because you got the absolute raw end of the deal. I heard somebody in the press conference afterwards say, what did they say? Something
did you hear it?
Perhaps got the
wrong
side.
There's a debate to be made that you didn't have the easier way. I'll just say that.
That was so funny.
There's a debate.
The amount of eye rolls I saw when he said perhaps one could debate you didn't have the good end of the draw. That's when I said, like, perhaps, really? You think there's any doubt?
It was snowing.
2.5 shots.
It was snowing and pounding.
Was it 2.5?
I think it was 2.5. 2.5. For you, I mean, you're right there in the mix. Going into the weekend, like, how do you stay like, okay, I'm right there, and yet I got absolutely screwed? I mean, obviously it's just part of the game.
You can't think about that.
See, that's why I'm sitting here and you have that thing on.
Yeah, we need what good players think about. I can tell you what I think about.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we tied with Brooks after the first round. He comes out in perfect weather, shoots 5 under, which he's supposed to do. Could have been lower if you see his round. Could have been lower, right? So I'm teeing off, and I'm like, well, I got to try to catch up as much as possible. We knew we weren't finishing that day. So, when we left, I was 2 under. I was at 9. I was in a good spot. And then we came the next morning knowing what we had. It's more, let's see what we can do to not really screw the whole tournament up, right? When the rain was coming and all that, right? And I played really good golf. I mean, there's nothing else you can do but control what you can control, right? I couldn't worry about Brooks when it's 45 and raining sideways. I can't really do that.
How hard were the conditions?
Yeah, give us an idea, like what clubs you were hitting into some of the holes that day versus Thursday when it was perfect.
Well, 11 at the end. I mean, I had driver 6 iron to lay up to the right of the green. I was on the trees though. It was more holes like 14, right? 14, I hit a pounded driver and hammered 8 iron to a short pin. If I usually hit a driver that good, there's no way I'm hitting more than a pitch and wedge into that hole, unless it's into the wind, which it wasn't, right? And then when it rained, it was 17 and 18. That was the craziness. 17 was driver 6 iron. Both of them hit as good as I could. 18 was driver 4 iron. Both of them hit as good as I could. And I didn't even sniff the front of the green.
So I was doing the featured groups coverage when y'all were going through there. And Justin's drive went 238. I don't remember exactly what yours went, but Justin hit a head cover in there. We saw a couple guys hit 3-wood into 18.
I should have hit 5-wood. When me and Adam were talking about it, we thought that if I could keep that 4 iron low, there might be a chance of skipping on the wet grass. The 5-wood, God knows where the water ball could have gone. I mean, I was looking at it like, if he comes out knuckly with no spin and you go long, that's going to be a tough 5. So we were okay with short the entire way. That's kind of the thought process behind that.
When you went out that day, did you have like a target score in mind, or a target like I don't want to be more than X behind Brooks after this, or is it just hole by hole, go plug along?
It was weird because it was on and off, right? When we started, it was okay, and then on 11 starts drizzling, 12, 13 we're okay, 14, 15 we're okay, on and off, and then at the end of 16 starts pouring down. So you could make birdies, but it was tough. It was very tough. I mean, pars were your friend, and that's basically what I was thinking on.
What was Saturday night like for you? Because obviously there's still a lot of golf left. With everything you went through, were you just so worn out after that Saturday?
I was tired.
Yeah.
I mean, because then after that, we go back in the restart and it's raining again, right? We're playing 5. I hit driver 4 iron, both of them perfect to the front edge. I have 100 feet. We're playing 7 on the rain. Probably the best 2 shots I hit on the tournament.
Really?
The driver and 7 iron on 7 on the pouring rain. I mean, those are 2 small targets.
Yeah.
To 8 feet. I was tired, but I mean, it is the Masters, and knowing that the next day, basically the Masters is decided, right? I mean, it was also helpful that even though it was 4 shots back, it was most likely going to be a 1-shot swing, right? So I was already going to start with possibly an advantage, whether Brooks made the putt or not. I always had a chance. So I could start in a positive way and get things going, and I did, right? So I wasn't really thinking anything about it. Like, I didn't think about the putt all night. I was just tired. I wanted to go to bed and rest and get the day started the next day.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate your sleep that night?
It was okay. I mean, it was shorter than I would have liked, but it was okay.
Are you a good sleeper normally?
Yeah, I sleep great. I sleep better. I sleep better in tournaments than I do at home.
All right, question.
I know is weird.
Yeah.
Glass half full scenario, like one of the worst things I would think as a player is, let's say you're in the last group going into Sunday at the Masters, you got to wake up and you got so much time to kill and wait and think before you tee off. The fact that you get out there on Sunday, boom, you start right away. You got to play 30 holes, but there's no sitting around and waiting. Was that beneficial at all? I mean, you've won a U.S. Open and had to play, but there's so much time, just idle time.
Well, I think it helped me because I'd done it the day before. So I just do it again, right? Like I
just get out there and do it.
I knew what to expect. That would be the perfect way of saying it. So I think in a way, even though you might be a little bit more tired, adrenaline carries on. So I think it played in my advantage. Yeah. And I did. I mean, I started with a 4-shot deficit, ended the day 2 shots back, which the goal was to close the gap as much as possible.
What do you do typically? Like U.S. Open, you tee off super late in the afternoon. You wake up, you got tons of time to kill before you can start warming up. What do you do?
I mean, I usually like watching the broadcast and watching how the course is playing, play with the kids, get my mind off of golf if I can. And then when you're getting closer to it, start doing the little things to, maybe do some warm up at home, go to the course, eat lunch, and then start your day, right? I don't go early to the course. Some people do and hit some putts at 10 a.m. and then go back. I don't like doing that. I've tried it. It doesn't really work for me. I'm just home with the family, honestly. Playing with the kids. They do what they need to do. As if it was a Sunday morning at home. And then when you need to get focused into it, I'll do it. But the broadcast might be on the background just to see how some holes are playing and seeing what works in some holes and what doesn't work. That always helps.
And then you and Brooks get going in that final pairing. And, you and I have talked about it off camera many a times. I mean, the amount of times people say you're fiery and all this, it's just, we get it. We know it. I thought Sunday in that final round was as cool, calm, and collected as I've ever seen Jon Rahm.
I would agree with that.
Did it feel that way?
Yes. I mean, there's still pressure.
Of course.
There's still tension.
Highest of pressure.
Yeah.
There's still tension, but I knew I had a goal in mind. I'm like, if I shoot in the 60s today, it was windy. It was not an easy day of golf. That 65 by Phil and 66 by Jordan were ridiculous scores. With those wind gusts, I said, if I shoot 69 today and get to 12 under, it's a very solid chance. That's a very, very, very solid chance. And that's what I was worried about. I mean, I was basically going shot by shot and trying to do what I could do.
I just thought, just looking at your face, it just seemed, I haven't seen that side of you before. I think that's part of your maturity as well, but I just knew when I saw that, I was like, there's the man who's going to put the green jacket on.
Or you guys could have told me. Because I keep hearing it was stress-free, it was boring, it was this. Jesus Christ, if I hear that again, I'm going to...
Yeah, dude, spice it up. Hit some shitty shots next time.
Well, I've heard, when you hit that draw on 13, I knew it was over. And I'm like, well, call the tournament.
Yeah, because I don't want to play anymore.
Walk it in, I'm done.
Was there a moment, though, on that final round where you felt like the momentum
and
shift?
I don't want to call anybody out, but there is one person who said it was a boring Sunday, like the last 5 holes I had at one. I'm like, how can you possibly
No, call him out. That's what we do on the show.
Yeah, who was
How
it?
can you say... Well, I'm going to do their podcast probably next.
Hey, Riggs. There you go.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Well, see, I know Adam purposely but not purposely, Adam, my caddy, did a podcast with them and did mention it was stressful, it was this. I don't know if he wanted to say directly at Riggs. I understand what the spectators are saying, but 4 shots at Augusta National is absolute zero.
Well,
so I was like, to me, I'm walking down the stretch, it's stressful as hell.
Yeah.
Stressful as hell, to an extent.
And I want to go to, because 12 is the hole that gets all the attention, obviously.
Yes.
We've seen what's happened with Jordan Spieth there with a massive lead there.
Yes.
What happened the year Tiger won in 2019. Take us through y'all's process on number 12, because that was the first day I thought the wind was really blowing, and it could probably make you question where it's coming from a little bit.
So this is where playing in the morning, I think, helped a lot. Because when we played in the morning, it was very similar conditions, just a little cooler. And it was gusting downwind off the left. And we all thought when we played the hole, it was going to push it right. So I went with a 9-iron, going with a 3/4 9-iron.
This is the morning round?
Morning round.
Okay.
I actually hit a 9-iron in the afternoon too. But I go with that club. I tug it just a little bit because I don't want it to bleed right and maybe be short, and just hits a jet stream up there. And that's the same thing that Scotty Scheffler did in the afternoon. I mean, it lands on the flowers, and then he comes back down. I got lucky there. I mean, most of the time he comes back down. Scotty, I'm sorry it happened to you, the state up there, but he came back down. So when we got back there, Adam and I were trying to technically hole it on the 3rd round on the morning hole location. Very similar number. We were just on the other tee box, so I was trying to just hit it there. And knowing what I did in the morning, it was the 9-iron. I just put it a little bit up on my stance to facilitate a bit more of that cut. Essentially, it was a pitching wedge number, but the last thing I wanted to do was get up there, give it a little bit of extra release, and see that ball go sailing long left, or heel it a little bit too much, see that ball going right, and start sweating, because the green was soft, and if you spin it back, bad news.
It's gone, yeah.
So I was really trying to just hit the right shot, and I hit it perfectly. I mean, that ball landed a pace past the hole, and it was this far from that hole location. So when we got there, to me, I hit a perfect shot. I'm 30 feet left, but I hit about as good a shot as I could hit. I know that hole gets a lot of attention, but being downwind obviously takes a bit of the water stress out of play.
It's just, I think,
but then
with
it brings
history.
the flowers in. It's like,
well, but
see that all the time.
If I just hit it on line with the bunkers, and I miss hit it either way, if it's on line in between the bunkers, I can either go on the short one or the long one, right? I don't have a doubt that ball is not going to carry. When it's into the wind, In Augusta, God, that ball can go from 10 yards long to 10 yards in the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different.
What was the players' response to the new tee on 13? Because obviously we saw what you did on Sunday, just with the most gorgeous tee shot, drawing it around the corner. But what did you think about the added length? Was it a positive?
Well, I think I might not be the guy to ask now, but he plays as a proper par 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you could hit the right tee shot or even get lucky, sometimes you miss the branches. It was too much of an advantage to have a 9-iron in. Not everybody could do it. Now, like I did it on Sunday, I think I hit about as good a tee shot I could hit.
It's unbelievable.
It was a 6-iron, which you're comfortable, but still a 6-iron with the ball way above your feet, right? And you can still take a conservative route and see longer clubs in. I mean, you're going to see it. I think he plays the way he's supposed to be played. When I go back and watch footage of the 80s, I mean, you see people with 3 irons, 4 irons, woods, right? That's how it's supposed to be played, and I like it.
See, I think that the one thing he doesn't get enough credit about is he does do that. He goes back and watches from the 80s.
I love it.
You are a student of the game.
I love it, yeah. I'm a complete junkie.
I like the layup there. If you do choose the layup, like there's so much strategy on the layup. Do I want to blow it down the right side, get a good angle? I can lay it back to this specific number, or I'm going to get it up close as the creek as possible. There's a lot of different options. It's not just like, hit it to 100.
A lot more thought that you think goes into that layup. The line, exactly the number, the pin position, giving yourself. Because if you put it on the right spot, you can give yourself a really easy wedge shot. If you don't put it on the right spot, there can be some stress. Like if you have that short right pin or short left pin, and you hit it 10 yards too close, and you're on that downslope with a 40-yard pitch shot, it's not the easiest comfortable shot, right? So you can make it as easy or as stressful as you want to make it for yourself.
Yeah, we saw some guys struggle with it, laid it up and still souped it.
I mean, I made a bogey.
There's more thinking involved.
I laid up to 80 yards and still made a bogey. I mean, it happens.
Well, on Sunday you had a sick chip from over the green.
Yeah,
thank you.
Nice.
I've actually I before they softened the green, I had hold that chip before on my first Masters.
Oh.
So I had a really good visual in mind when I got there. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go to the next
another one on the next hole, pretty filth.
That was, I mean, you said, I believe you said in a press conference, you didn't get enough credit for how good the shot on 14 was.
Well, I mean, all I hear about is a tee shot on 18. That's all I hear about.
I don't care about that.
Nobody brings up that shot to me. One of the best shots I hit in my life.
All right, well, you're in the second cut, behind a tree. Take us through it, yardage, and what you had to do.
Well, 128 meters.
Gotcha.
Okay. 42 yards. Okay. Yeah. You can kind of see in the images. If I went straight at the pin, I'd have to keep it low, kind of like Brooks did. I could start it just outside the left edge of the green. And within the first cut, I had a decent lie. But the thought of possibly getting a bit of a knuckleball and going straight through the green was a reality. So if you were to go back to seeing the image or the video, I'm trying to start it just left of the green, and I'm trying to cut it about 5 yards, because then with the wind in of the left, it would do the rest to then land on the slope and take it towards the pin. I was never trying to finish it on line with the pin. That would have been a 20-yard slice, and I would have ended up way right and possibly short as well, right? So I'm trying to hit this like lower spinny 8-iron, and I did it perfectly. I mean, I could have not hit that shot any better than what I did. It starts left, face towards the one tree that's between the pin and the flag with the help of the wind, and lands pin high and just takes a slope back to the pin. I mean, I couldn't hit it any better.
That's where you opened up some cushion too. I mean, that kind of was
shot of the tournament.
Best shot of the tournament?
There's a combination of different shots, but yeah, I mean, that was pivotal, right? If I make a mistake and Brooks 2 putts, it's only a 2-shot lead with 4 to go. Luckily for me, he 3-putted and then I made it. So, I could say shot of the tournament.
After that swing there, because that was when it really opened up, you got a 4-shot lead. 12 gets all the attention. That's a stressful shot. I don't care how big your lead is. It is. Was there a shot after that where you're like, I just got to get through this one. Let's keep this one safe, and then I feel good.
15T is not a stress anymore because they put the tee so far back you can't get to the tree. So that is try to hit it as hard as you can. I hit it terrible, but still in play. So there's a couple of things after that. I'm like, I'm not really worried with the back pin about the water, but you got to hit the right wedge shot to give myself the best look I can. And then obviously shot into 16 and tee shot on 17. Those two were the things I was looking for. If I could hit the right shot on 16 and then put the ball in the fairway on 17, not that it's closed out, but I'm going to make a par and a bogey, most likely have a 3-shot lead. At least make a par and a bogey, most likely have a 3-shot lead going into 18. And yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Go to that layup on 15 because that's another layup that like I don't think gets enough credit. Do you have a certain spot you wanted to come in from there?
Yeah.
How tricky is that layup? Because there's some you get on the wrong, like the downhill, it's tricky.
I wanted to have about 70, 75 meters.
Is that just so you can control your spin more?
Exactly. On the left half of the fairway. So you are looking more up the green. And I like that because what I feel like it's a half shot is 65 meters, right? But when you're on that downslope plus a little adrenaline, that becomes 70. So if I have 75, it's perfect. That ball's going to come low, land 5 short, skip up, maybe pin high or be at least putting up the hill. And we ended up laying up to pretty much a perfect number. Hit the shot I wanted, just a little right of the pin. I was expecting the wind to take it a bit more than it did, but I ended up being 10 feet short right, which had a lot more break than I wanted to. Had I been online, it would have been a straight putt up the hill. Not that I would have made it, but I'm being picky in that situation. Mm-hmm. It's really easy though if you lay up on the wrong spot to, if you catch it just off and have too much spin, that water is lurking, right? So I wanted to get as close as comfortably possible so that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, we've seen disasters on that hole.
That happens.
With laying up, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get through 16, 17. We do have to talk about the tee shot 18 because
fine.
It's 4-shot lead. You think, we all thought it's over. It is. And then you just hit a weird one. And
not as bad as you think.
No, okay.
Because I'm trying to hit a low fade, which I've been doing it all week perfectly, especially on 18. And I literally catch it, release it ever so slightly too much, right? So it starts about 5 yards left of what I'm looking for. But it's trying to cut. Like, I know, whatever people want to believe me or not, if there's no trees there, that ball is maybe 1 yard in the left semi, just left of the bunkers. Unfortunately, there's trees there. It went dead smack in the center of a branch.
It's a narrow shoot.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad a miss if you think about it. I thought if I missed left, it was better than right. And I just hit a provisional. I didn't see it. Adam saw it, actually. He told me he saw something come down.
Okay.
But nobody on the tee said anything. Nobody on the fairway said anything. Usually they give you a sign. So I'm like, I'll just hit a provisional because I don't want to come back.
Was the heart rate extremely high when you're hitting the provisional?
When nobody saw it?
Well, the thing is, people are saying out of bounds. There's no out of bounds there.
Okay.
If he goes left, there's maintenance and a stand.
And a bush that you could lose it in possibly.
But they'll find there's a million people out there.
And if I find the ball and... I'm pretty confident I could just pitch out and do what I did, make a 5 and go home, right? But there's no out of bounds. I just hit a provisional just in case, mainly so I don't have the feel of hitting that shot as my last tee shot. And luckily I hit a perfect tee shot. And then we're walking off the tee and right instantly we saw it. Like the guy is walking back down to where it is. I'm like, oh, perfect. I kind of told him, I'm like, why don't you say so?
Yeah.
I just walk in the middle and say, no, we have it and that's it.
Yeah, just for the heart rate there, dog. Would have been nice to know. It's sitting down there. Your next shot, honestly, this might not be something, but he and I have talked about. I was like, you hit it a little closer to the bunker than I would have liked to have like a little feely type of shot in there. I know you got the slope behind it, but is that the yardage that you wanted? Like I would have been give me 100 and I can hit it anywhere.
I wanted to hit a 3-wood.
I was telling Adam, just give me a 3-wood. I'll slice it up there into the wind. And he was like, buddy, let's just lay it up. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like we have a 4-shot lead, make a 5. I wanted to try to hit it on the green, but good thing I didn't because I could have been. If that doesn't fade, he goes straight into the 9th fairway, and I'm having 100 yards to go into the green.
The pitch shot was pretty sick.
Pitch shot was filled.
Well, I had 55 meters to the pin. It's into the wind, and I have a backstop.
Yeah, but you're also got you got 4. You're the final hole of the mat. Like I would be like, I don't want to touch it, feel it. I just want to rip something to the back, let it spin.
Listen, if you go yourself in that situation, I had about 8 paces behind the pin and 5 short. It's a 13-yard gap to land it on with a wedge.
Right.
I feel like I can do that.
Yeah, but my goddamn hands are shaking.
I would have bet a ton of money it wasn't landing short of the flag with the backstop.
I wasn't trying to land it that short, but again, 55 meters is my half 60 shot, so all I did is just give it a little bit extra.
It worked out, but I was like, that's a touch. That's where our brains work different. I'm like, there's a bunker there. If it's sawed, it's in there. Then things get weird.
It didn't.
I know. It didn't.
I wanted to make par. I'm not going to lie. Adam told me, and I was thinking the same thing. We're walking up, and I'm like, I could just dump it up there like Tiger did too, but I go home, what happened. He's like, nah, man. He's like, finish it in style, man. Like, you've played amazing this back nine, make a par. And that's why I was like, okay, I'll be aggressive.
And you did.
Respect.
You made the par. Mm-hmm. Your family's there waiting on you. How special was that? I saw your dad was there all week.
Yes, he was. He almost didn't go.
Oh.
He had about 3-4 friends that were supposed to go with him, and they all canceled for different reasons, and he almost didn't go. he ended up going because he got invited to a golf trip on the Northeast. Like they went to play Wingfoot and a couple other courses up there. And that's the only reason why I went. It's like, I'll just go do that. And Tuesday night I fly to Augusta. Wednesday I see the par 3 and then I go watch. So thank God he went.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Damn, good decision.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. Now he's already telling me I wasn't gonna come to the PGA, but you might win it. I'm like, well, with that logic, just come to all the
majors. There's not one that you're not like you might not win it. They're all rolling. You might win it.
I know one of your idols, Jose Marie, was also behind the green there. I know y'all shared a pretty cool moment. We've talked about this before. You said I couldn't hear what anybody was saying to me because I asked you what Brooks said to you, Jose Marie.
Well, I heard it. I don't think it processed.
Yeah,
1 second.
Things were going so fast.
Not a chance I remember what anybody said.
And
like
then
not even a little bit.
How about Jordan hanging out to congratulate? That was pretty classy.
That was cool, yeah. He's a classy
pretty
guy.
Cool.
He's a classy guy. He didn't have to do that instead.
Yeah.
So I was because I know Phil is one of those guys who you've looked up to, and you met him when you were in college and everything. And I was always wondering if he was going to be there when you finished. And then I learned when you came on the set on CBS that he actually was there.
So I don't think he wanted to do the whole public thing. Mm-hmm. When you go into the scoring area, there's a couple of steps, and then between the columns where you can't really see because they hide people over there. Phil and Amy were there waiting right before I got into scoring.
What was the moment like with Phil?
That's cool.
I also don't remember what he said, but it was very cool for him to be there. He, as you know, he has been saying for a few years that he's talked about my potential, right? And to feel validated like that and be there with them was really, really cool. He mentioned something about earlier in the week about us two having many lunches in the champions locker room, and that's now a reality. So that was a very cool moment.
He got in the media center and sung your praises too, talking about you. Like, I saw this kid at ASU and I said he was top 10. Like, I'm not surprised at all by his play, but more complimented you on like the person you are.
Yeah,
which I thought was cool.
He's been a great mentor to me, and learned a few things about Augusta National thanks to him. So it's he had a part in that as well.
You don't see him as much, but is your relationship still the same as it was years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, still
talking, text, and all that. Yeah.
So now that you have had all the success and he was right, can I have my money back?
Well, you pick it up with him. You took a bet.
Yeah, he was a third party.
You bet against me.
He was
Colt.
just the horse.
Yeah, I'm not. No
First
chance.
off, I didn't bet against you. The odds were in my favor. I just happened to lose. It was nothing against your talent. I knew you were really good. I just was on the wrong side.
You can defend it however you want.
It ain't coming back. Can I give you a compliment?
I'm not gonna lie though. I would have taken the bet, just so you know.
Yeah, it was.
Of course, John would have taken it. Yeah.
No, meaning I would have done what he did.
Oh, you would have taken his side?
I didn't even have a tour
you wouldn't have bet.
Yeah, he didn't have any status.
I know, but
I wasn't even pro when they made this bet. I had played with Phil before he went to San Antonio.
Phil should have been getting that's a minimum 5-1. Like if you were gonna make that bet,
why do you think I took it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, bites in the ass.
And listen,
you fire sometimes.
When you have somebody like him, because I heard about it, and he's told me in person, he told me that, and Keith Subpar is another guy who always said, "Hey, you're already top 10 in the world." I'm like, man, when you have two guys like that know so much about the game telling you that, and you're not even pro yet, I don't even have my tour card. The boost in confidence in your ability is insane.
For sure.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's helpful. Mm-hmm. Compliment to you. In the Butler cabin, you guys go in. There's been some awkward jacket exchanges in the history. I thought you and Scotty pulled it off flawlessly. Is there any rehearsal on that before? Like, hey, dude, let's not butcher this. Let's practice.
Not Scotty, but they had me rehearse it with the people outside, and they're like, what arm do you like first? And I'm like, I've never thought of this in my life, right? They have you try a few jackets on and all that, and then it's like, how you do this? Oh, left. I guess I do left first, this and that, and then they tell Scotty, and it's pretty funny how it goes. And then the one rule that I had to remember is like, do not shake Scotty's hands first. Do the chairman. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm there thinking, I'm like, don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Because Scotty did it, and the first person I see, Scotty, even though he was trying to kind of like hide behind me and walk off like Sam did.
Sam didn't walk. He ran. He took off.
So, I saw it like the second they announced it, I see him just bolt out of that.
He was the only person to run at Augusta all week.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So it was in my mind. I'm like, okay, Chairman Ridley. It's pretty funny. I mean, they make you nervous.
That's got to be a nervous little. It's like so quaint and tight in there. The whole golf world is watching.
Like if I were to do the wrong thing,
there's been some fumbles on that jacket.
If I were to do the wrong thing, I don't think anybody would have cared.
No,
none of you would have known.
No,
but like it's just funny how I'm like.
If you would have shook Scotty's hand, not one of us would have known.
No one would ever have known until just now. Now that we know that's like the proper protocol.
But I don't know if they've changed. I don't know. It probably has been the protocol forever. But yeah, like if you go back, you'll see that, right? I mean, you get the jacket and the past champion steps back, and then you go into German relay.
You mess it up, you're just a meme forever. It's no big deal.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, one more.
I know you're very much looking forward already to the Champions Dinner next year. You've already thought about it. You've already had talks with a famous Spanish chef, correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've talked about it as a joke in the past, but yeah,
Who is he?
Jose Andres.
Yeah,
Jose Andres. Yeah, I mentioned in the press conference, and he sent me a text. I was like, "Hey, man, everybody's texting me. Like, what'd you say?" I'm like, "Well, we've talked about it before. Like, what do you mean? What did I say? like, I want you to help me." It's like, okay, I'll help you out. And we haven't talked about it in between us. They already have a few ideas. For people that know Spanish cuisine, jamón will be there for sure.
What is that?
Ham.
Spanish ham, jamón ibérico. It's
we had some the other night, right over here. Huh? We had some the other night, right over here.
At the quarter?
Right yeah, the new place.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. So it'll be that as an appetizer. I believe I know the dessert. Possibly the wine if I get a choice on what wine is drank.
You're paying for it.
I think you're the guy.
That's another thing I learned. I went to Chairman Really. I was like, "What's the budget for this?" He's like, "Whatever you want to spend."
Yeah.
I was like, "Great."
Wine in a box.
And everything in between, I have some ideas, but I haven't decided yet. It's actually the one thing I've probably given more thought to out of anything else. Yeah. Pretty funny. I don't know why.
Other than the Subpar podcast, where are you most excited to take the green jacket?
I don't know if I'm going to be taking it on every single interview I do. I'm going to be honest.
I think you should probably never wear it again.
I think you retire it one and done. We'll put it in the rafters right here if you want us to watch it for
What
you.
would be really meaningful to me is when I go back home, if there's a soccer game, if I could do an honorary kickoff.
I bet you can.
That would be epic.
Give us a serious question here. Like, what's this mean in Spain? Can you even get a pulse of it? Like, where are you now in terms of like Nadal? You mentioned like getting a text from like he's a guy that's been carrying the flag for Spain for forever.
I have
are you
no
that
idea.
now? Are you that guy?
No, I mean the guy is arguably a goat in his sport. I'm not even close.
Baby goat. I mean, you're
Not
still
even
growing.
close.
You're still growing.
Not even
But it
close.
could happen. But I mean, you're one of four that ever win over there. You know.
I mean, if you put it in perspective, right? 4th Masters champion from Spain, 6th jacket, 10th major for Spain, which to me is a big deal, obviously. The one thing that keeps coming back to me that I can't still believe is that I'm the first European to win the U.S. Open and the Masters, which still can't believe that some of the greats in the past weren't able to do that. Right? It's amazing. I don't know where to put it in Spanish sports. It's early on my career. The potential is there, yes, but still very early on my career. So I have no idea.
Is there any comparison, the feeling between winning the U.S. Open and the Masters?
It's different. Very different scenarios. Because the U.S. Open, I never had the lead till the last hole. Like never. Solo lead till the 72nd hole, which I guess is the only time you need it. But I was never really like winning the tournament.
Yep.
Right up until all of a sudden at the end, made a few birdies. Right. This case, I was always in contention. And was able to get it done. And Brooks is a fierce competitor when he has the lead. It's the first time he doesn't convert him 54 hole lead in a major championship, which, it's unusual for him to play bad.
And you knew that going in.
Oh, of course I know. I know all those things.
It's awesome.
I'm not thinking about it, but it's just the Spanish history of that moment, right? 40th anniversary on Seve's second win, his birthday, Easter. It's just a lot of things that added. And when I finished playing, I've told people, and I don't want to play favorites, and I don't want to offend anybody in the USGA, but I don't know why this meant so much more. I can't tell you exactly why, but to me, this one meant quite a bit more.
That's true. I mean, it's the Masters. It's what I mean.
It's tradition.
I'm sure when you were growing up, you woke up at certain times to watch the Masters on TV.
More like went late to bed, but yeah.
Whatever, time zone thing.
Yeah, the putts you hit as a kid on the green, this is to win the Masters. That's that's what kids do.
It is, and it's really, I think the fact that it's always played at the same golf course and be able to win it is what makes it even better. Everybody gets to practice it. Everybody gets to know how to play the golf course around there, right? But to be the one to best them all by 4 shots, I mean, it's just that things add up, right? I think there was a lot of history and legacy in that moment, and that's why that picture of Seve and I still makes me feel that way. Like every time I look at it, it makes me want to cry. It's incredible. So, cool. It's really how much it means. I've spoken before in many interviews how my family started playing golf because of Seve's impact on the captaincy and the Ryder Cup in '97, right? And that's why I feel that connection with the great Spanish players in the past. If it wasn't for Dad, my dad wouldn't have started playing golf. Who knows if I'd be here, right? So I don't know if you can call it carrying the torch or passing the torch or meeting some type of legacy with Seve and however you want to word it. It was really is what made it so special.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Phil was there, Jordan was there. You heard from Rafa. Tiger reach out?
He did. He reached out, yeah. Send a very nice text, a very Tiger-like text.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. What you would expect.
You're 13 behind.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get that.
You're coming. Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Keep going.
He was very nice. He was very, very nice about it. I got a lot of great texts, to get a text from Tom Brady as well. Very unique. Very unique. The list goes on and on.
How long does it take you to cipher through the text?
And
do you remember how many you had when you first looked at your phone at midnight?
So because WhatsApp and message and iMessage do differently, right? It was like 350 notifications, but some of them were group chats with like 50 texts. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't even know. I didn't do anything Monday. I tried to obviously get family first and all that. By Tuesday, when I was in my physio's table in the afternoon, I had responded to everybody.
Good man.
I tried to do it quick because I'm one of those people that if I see like the little one that red alert that you have a notification, it drives me absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's criminal.
I hate it.
It's criminal.
So I try to get it done as early as possible.
Yeah.
Do you think, I know we're looking ahead to next year already, but do you think you'll continue the tradition of parking at the Double Eagle Club?
Not many people know that is the best thing out of all of this. So, you and many people were confused as hell that day.
It had to look like a prank, like we're videoing some sort of prank show here.
The valet guy there, I didn't get his name, but I was there on Sunday. I went over and watched the end of your round on Sunday, and he's like, "Can you believe this is going to happen?" He was sitting right here earlier in the week. I was like, "This is incredible." Jon Rahm had to park at the Double Eagle Club, and he walked. Because, rules are rules at Augusta. You're only allowed to have one car.
You're only allowed one courtesy car. Yeah. It was Wednesday, and Kelly needed the bigger car that we had for the car seats. And I thought we have found a way for me to get in. I'm pretty sure if I go into the gate with my pass, it wouldn't let me in. But we already called Chairman Ridley about it, and he said no. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, last thing I need is him getting the word that I'm there and get in trouble. So I just parked at Double Eagle, which for people that don't know, it's literally across the street from Augusta National. And walked in. And the funny thing is, it was 5:30 in the morning. Or 6:30. Like, it was early in the morning. And people are going in already to the gate. And I'm standing with, I don't know who I was with. I was with Steve Loy in my duffel bag and my backwards hat and my lanyard, right? And I'm standing on the light waiting for it to turn green. And people are walking by and they look at me. And I don't know if they don't believe it's me or it's just too early for them to realize. But it's funny to just have people walk by. They look again, and then they keep walking. Right? I'm just looking at it like,
now take
what
me
am I
through
doing?
this.
Like, no way. You don't see Steph Curry.
It's like, what am I doing here?
As you're entering the arena.
But take me through this. You walk across Washington, and then did you go to the caddy area? Did you walk all the way down Magnolia Lane? Like, what did you?
No. Most of us always go to the caddy area.
Yeah,
it's just easier in every sense. So I went. Yeah, I had breakfast, had my coffee. And went to warm up in the gym.
There's gonna be 10 players parking. At Double Eagle next year.
People are just gonna be camped at Double Eagle next year.
What you saw me, the reason you saw me there, because I've been there waiting for a bit, is the valet. I guess they don't really have that many spots up in the area, so they park like 2 miles away. If you don't know, I'm looking at camera. Washington road traffic can be as bad as it ever gets, and so I finish my day. I see my physio. Kelly goes home with the kids, whatever, and it's like 5. Yeah. And I ordered, I tell them to get in my car, and I know it's going to be a while, so I don't want to be sitting out just waiting. I'm hiding on that little spot behind the valet, the little table they have. It was pretty funny. And that's when Colt came and was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, we watched TV. By the way, I waited another 40 minutes after you left.
Yeah, Steve Lloyd called the owner, "Hey, the hell?"
Yeah.
Because my car was supposed to be up there. I had no idea. We made a mistake or whatever. Deal with it. Yeah, it took a while.
That was cool, though.
They park them in Atlanta, and then they run and go get
it. Well, the funny thing is, then trying to get out into Washington Road, nobody's letting you in. Thank God Austin Kaiser, was there. And he saw me waiting, and he let me in. So thank you.
First time anyone said that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank God.
Thank God for Austin Kaiser.
I got to ask you the burning question. I don't think you've been asked this yet, but the people need to know. Did you really pee 7 times?
No, 5.
Okay, 5.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get this question way more. I mean, first of all.
Yeah, no one's asked that yet.
We're waiting. I'm trying to hydrate. It's a freaking Masters. You're nervous. I'm not going to wait till I really have to go that bad to really can affect the shot. So, yeah.
And you're trying to kill time because it was so slow. Like, I'll go to the bathroom.
I tell you, I went on 4. I went on 9, for sure. I went on 11. I went on 16. And I don't know if I went on 13, 5.
Wow, that's fine.
Hydrated.
When you get nervous, you got to pee, and you're trying to kill time because you know you're going to come up and wait on the next one. So it's like I either sit here and think or I go pee.
I mean, it was because it was 2-some split tee, right? So we know we're going to have to wait. But we finished the first hole. Like, I make a great par. I'm like, I'm ready to hit that next tee ball. And we get there, and the guys are still on the tee, sitting on the bench. I'm like, oh, boy. So we knew what kind of a day it was going to be. So when I made the birdie putt on 3, I looked. They're not even, like, we saw them hit. So I know I'm going to have to wait. So I'm just making time by at least moving, doing something. I don't want to just be sitting there waiting. On 13, we saw Patrick had hit his tee shot left. Right? When we got to the tee, he was walking back across the river to then go up. Right? So I'm like, I mean, we're waiting, so why not?
Yeah. You waited, and apparently someone calculated 97 minutes.
Waited. Total wait
like
time.
A lot.
That seems like a lot.
I mean, we did wait a lot. It was... At one point, our face on 16 says it all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm eating my food, and we're both like, this is ridiculous.
Okay.
Final group of the Masters waiting this long. It's a little bit of a joke.
You and Brooks, 2 of the fastest players, though, out there. Let's just get it from you right now. Because
I wouldn't say I'm the fastest.
No, you're not. But you're
not
You're on
slow.
the faster side.
Yeah, you're above average, I would say.
Brooks is fast.
Matt
Fitzpatrick, we've seen, is fast.
Brooks is very fast.
Yeah. What do we need to do to speed this thing up?
Listen, there are slow players out there, but in this case scenario, the fact that we had 2 sums and 2 tees was a problem. Everybody's going to go for it on the par 5s. Not everybody's going to hit a good shot. You're going to have to wait, especially in split tees. That's always going to be the case. I know Patrick Cantley's been catching a lot of heat for that Sunday. I don't know if he was waiting or not. I couldn't tell you. Right? And there was a couple of situations, like 16 hits on the absolute worst scenario, or a spot on the green you can hit it, which is short right on top. I mean, that is a long putt with 30 feet of break, and I understand you're going to take some time, right? So it also doesn't help with me and Brooks are playing behind, and I'm playing good golf, and he's already fast, right? So we're going to be faster group than the average. I wouldn't know. I think the main, and I might catch some heat for this, but when it comes to the PGA Tour, I think for the most part, fields are too big.
Yeah.
And there's too many people on the golf course. There's simply nothing you can do to make it faster. So in Patrick's defense in this case, like we did, if you know you're waiting on the next hole, why rush?
Yeah.
If an extra look's going to help you, you're waiting either way, right? So I think there are some slow players, but a lot of it is there's just too many people on the course at the same time.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Listen, Patrick's caught a lot of flack for it, like you said, but the reason is he's playing well. And we see it on TV. So he gets shown a lot more than the guy in 60th place who's also playing slow.
Yeah. I mean, the slower people than Patrick for sure.
Yeah. What's Jon Rahm's schedule coming up?
Well, I don't know if I'm playing Wells Fargo or not. That's the question. Obviously playing the PGA, but everything in between. I'm defending next week. Most likely 2 weeks off and then PGA. So
that's cool. You're going back to Mexico to defend.
Yeah, I mean that's a plan. Obviously, unless something crazy happens, I wouldn't want to not go without a reason, right? They've treated me really well, and I feel like it's a really good place for the family. It's a very nice resort. Highly recommend it for everybody.
The resort's awesome.
Golf course, if it hasn't changed, wide open, great. Just hit it hard off the tee, go find it. Great shape, one of the best shaped golf courses we saw all year, and again, an amazing resort. I don't know, it's a great opportunity. I wouldn't want to take 3 weeks out before a major either way. So if I had to choose, I chose to defend.
Beautiful, love that. And you're a member now at this little place you got on your jacket. Any plans to go? When's the next time you're going to step foot on property?
I am not a member.
Or you can go back, I guess.
Yeah. Like I'm somewhere in between
playing privileges,
a qualified player and a member. Like I can go and stay in one of the rooms they have attached to them to the clubhouse, but I can't have people. I can't stay in the cottages. I can't have people stay with me. If I go and play, I can bring a guest, but they can't play. So I don't really know when I'll be going next. I mean, I haven't gone early to Augusta the last few years. I don't know if I'll do it or not, unless the right group of people comes to for me to want to go.
Well, I mean, hello, we're sitting around a table.
Anybody listening?
No.
Throw your name in the hat.
Sorry. Just got something.
I'm just saying, your favorite podcast fellows are sitting right here. We live right down the road.
Back when you're toting the ASU bag, nobody knew Jon Rahm. Just read that,
Yeah.
No.
Your talents
Rule number
cost me
one.
a lot of money.
It's like Fight Club. Don't talk about going. That's what it is.
You're salty about that loss, aren't you?
No, it actually makes for a great story.
It does.
Yeah, it makes for a great story. I mean, when you're going in the Hall of Fame, I'll be able to say, you wouldn't believe this bet I lost because of this kid. It was great.
Yeah.
If
I'm still alive.
You've gotten a lot of content.
I'll remind you in the speech.
You've gotten a lot of content.
Write that down, Jon Rahm.
A lot of content.
No, when I make promises, I promised Zach Ertz I was going to call him out when I won, and I did. So
good. So I'm going to be in your Hall of Fame speech. Perfect. Wow. Sounds
a lot
incredible.
of big things. A lot of big
hope
things.
I remember.
Yeah.
I hope I'm
me.
still alive. God.
Yeah. How long you plan on going?
All right. Well, you ready to let it loose tonight or what?
Listen, I have fun. I'd never get away. I never let myself go to a point where I can't control myself. How about that? I've never liked it.
That makes one of us, honestly.
Same. Mutual.
Never liked
Good to hear it.
So I don't know, but this night might be a little different. He prays to have an amazing wife. So if she's willing to put up with one more kid tomorrow, maybe I'll do it or not. But I'm not sure.
Well, man, we are so
Yes,
proud
sir.
of you. Congratulations. Johnny. It's awesome. I mean, you've been so great to us. We can't thank you enough. And the green jacket looks very good on you, my friend.
Thank you very
it's
much.
a nice fit. Appreciate you, my
it's
man.
nice to
Thank
put it
you
on.
so
Honestly,
much.
I forget about it every once in a while. So
it's awesome.
It's very nice.
You're the man. Well, Sleaze, that was a special one. Getting to sit down with our man Jon Rahm, the 2023 Masters champion. No one deserves it more. So happy for him. It's going to be a party tonight.
It's going to be a good one. I cannot wait to not remember any of it. And also just thank you to Jon Rahm. Like, this was our first guest ever on Golf Subpar. I think he's our first 3-time guest now. He's always been so good to you and I. Like, he's got a million things going on right now. He could easily be like, dude, I'm tapped. I just want to chill out. But no, he comes in here right after he gets back home, comes on the show. Tip of the cap to Johnny.
Love it.
The Spaniard.
And congratulations.
Love you, dog.
Congratulations, Big Spain. That was really fun to watch. Tell you what, Sleaze, our picks, they're starting to heat up a little bit. Over at FanDuel, it's getting a little warm. Last week, I had Jordan Spieth, Tommy Fleetwood, both right in the mix. You had Patrick Cantlay, Ricky Fowler, right in the mix. Our parlay hit again for our top 20, which was very nice. We took Matt Fitzpatrick, I believe, and Ricky Fowler, top 20.
Some good juice on that too.
There was. So we're starting to get there. We almost had the Holy Grail. We almost had like all of them in the top 4 at one point, it looked like.
We're coming back.
All right, we'll tee it up on FanDuel this PGA Tour season. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. You can do head-to-head matchups. You can do top 20s, all kinds of different things, straight-up winners, whatever you want. And if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use, and there's so many betting options. Let's get to it, Sleaze. We got the Zurich Classic.
Lead us off.
Team game this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about being positive.
There's no
out
I
there,
in team.
cheering each other on, but there's an ME in that.
You know what I'm
saying?
thing. Yeah.
All right, this is a fun one. I've had some fun partners down there. This really saved this event, in my opinion. It's going to be very interesting to watch. How about Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele are plus 290?
You like that one?
I think they're a slight favorite.
Like that one?
I do like them to win, but I'm not going to bet it. That is way too tight of odds for me. So for my favorite, I'm going with a very interesting team. Okay? This man wrote the other guy a letter and asked if they wanted to be teammates at the Zurich Classic.
That's flattering.
It is. It's very nice. It's old school, which I'm here for it.
Old gentleman.
Sung J.M., Cashmere, Keith Mitchell. There won't be any Cashmere being worn down in New Orleans in April. It gets a little warm. Going off at plus 1,300.
I love it, and I love the way that the invite was. Remind me of sophomore year homecoming. Like, put a little something in the locker, a little sign. Will you play with me? Will you go with me?
So
like
sweet.
The squad.
I believe Keith wrote another box and said, duh, and checked it
duh.
and gave it back to him.
Yeah. Sung J asked you to play in something. Good partner to have. Coming off a nice week as well. All right. Going a little further down the list here, Colt, but I like these guys. I'm going Sam Burns, Billy Horschel, 17-1. Okay, you got Burns. He's the local boy. He's going to have a lot of love down there in New Orleans. He's playing some very nice golf, coming in hot. Billy, not as hot, but I feel like he ain't far off. Yeah, I wouldn't say warm, but I'd say trending to warm perhaps. And also sometimes just like a different format, something a little different, change of pace, just to break the monotony of the week. It can go and help. And he's got some nice success down here in New Orleans. So give me those two boys at 17-1.
I think the first day with it being best ball, you can kind of free it up and
it's like
ride your partner a little bit if you need to. And then alternate shot, obviously, if you're not on your game, you're going to get exposed. But I've always
think
loved
it can
that
help
team at
just
this
to break
event.
it up. Yeah.
They're good friends. Billy has won there when it was a stroke play event. I'm just a little concerned to how he's playing right now. As far as a dark horse, I'm going at 46-1. Not really sure why. It just feels right down in New Orleans. They're Southern boys. Trey Mullinax, Scott Stallings.
I love it. I love the analysis.
No clue
Let's
why.
not overanalyze this stuff. I just like it. It jumped off at me. I'm going in the exact same range, 46-1. Kind of similar deal. I got a little bit of justification behind it. Give me Joel Damon, Denny McCarthy. Okay, Joel Damon, incredible ball striker. Can run really hot. When the putter gets going, he's extremely dangerous. Denny, best putter on tour. Going to take a little bit of the pressure off of Joel if he rolls one few feet by. There's not another guy on tour you'd rather have hitting that thing coming back. I like this one. Joel came out with the hot start last week, and Denny's just the guy. We're just waiting for him to win. It's going to happen. Give me that team at 46-1.
All right, well, go download the FanDuel app, and when you win, you can get paid instantly. So aim for some green and bet on the PGA Tour. Go to FanDuel.com/subpar and sign up. That's FanDuel.com/subpar to get a $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. FanDuel, official betting operator of the PGA Tour. Must be 21 years and older and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hope is here. Gambling helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369 in New York. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, or Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, or www.mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming, or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
That's it. And then just stay hot.
Read that all back to me.
I got it all locked in. I have all those numbers memorized.
All right. Once again, thank you so much to Jon Rahm for coming in and sitting down with us. That was a pleasure. We'll talk to you on next week's Golf Subpar.